Morning. And it is a lovely morning here. We are knee deep into it. Well knee deep. We're waist deep. We might even be belly button deep into it. Somewhere in between all of that. But yeah, Friday was a frustrating day for me. So it's kind of hard to be motivated to do much videoing on the take apart, but taking apart I think is the easy part. It's putting it all back together. But as you can see, we have a fresh brand new rock valve, and yep, this is what they look like. In case y'all want to know, this is what the swing rock valve looks like for the trailer pumps. And then just kind of go over a few things. Yeah, I honestly think my issue began when the pump got stolen, and they actually pumped with it a few times before we got it back, and I don't think they properly cleaned it well. I did take some things apart when I got the pump back and replaced a few O-rings and things like that, but it just hasn't really been the same since. So this pump is 10 years old this year. I received it 10 years ago November, so it's 10 years old. This is the first rock valve that it has received, so I think it's pretty good. The other one we were just able to maintain by once a year, put new O-rings on either the shaft goes into, or they go around the shaft inside of these brass bushings. Let's see if yeah, here's one. Take it out of the package for you. So this brass bushing is what the shaft actually goes around. That's the right one? Yeah, that's the right one. It's tight. But it goes in that slot right there. Then it's got little channels in it that the grease goes around into. Then it has one right here. Well, there's O-rings also that help protect that shaft. And if you don't get that clean and grout, just a teeny bit can build up right there and cause that wear that shaft. And then once that dam breaks, it's all but said but gone there. But yeah, we got a new kidney seal to put in it. Of course, there's the ring. Then we got a new pressure spring. I will not be replacing the cutting ring or the plate back there. It's in really good shape. It's actually carbide. Carl with Longhorn line pumps out of Fort Worth or Azle is who I bought the concrete pump from. I get a lot of questions about where I find my pump, where I got my pump, where I find them, things like that. This particular pump here came from Carl at Longhorn line pumps, and he also stocks the majority of parts that you need for your swing line pumps. So if you need anything as far as swing goes and line pumps, or for your swing trucks, I'm sure he may have parts for that too. So just give Carl a call at Longhorn line pumps there in Fort Worth, Texas, and he can hook you up. So just like he hooks me up every time. But yeah, quite the project ahead of us. No, I mean, it's really not that bad. It's just a little, it's time consuming. So it's really not that bad. It gives you a good opportunity to do some deep cleaning on some things. I plan on cleaning this thing up. I'm fixing to drag it out there to the approach and give it a special bath and do all that. So I'm gonna take y'all along on the journey of putting this old gal back together to her where she's ready to go again. So trying to think if there's anything that I do different or any quick tips to help you on these little brass bushings. On this particular one, it's brass. I take the sawzall and I cut me a chunk out of it, and you do kind of scar this area right here, but that, I mean, it's getting a big old brass bushing back in it. So I'm gonna put that in. If someone has a better way of getting that out, please leave the notes in the comments so we can help our brethren out on that. Other than that, that one you can clean it up better around the edge and beat it out with a hammer. It slides right out the front side of that plate. That's not a big deal at all on it. Other than that, just a little bit of manhandling and muscle power, because that thing there weighs who knows what. I'm trying to get it slid in and get that little hootenanny on it. It's better with two people, but I've done it by myself, so it's not that bad. Just got to have a little bit of horsepower to help you. First thing you do is you take this brass part right here and you place it in the freezer, just like that. Cold brass piece going in next. We got everything. I hope. Might have to have something a little bit heavier. There. Broke my wood. Broke my wood in there. We're out there. That's good. thinking is, I just talked to Carl on the, just sent him a text, and he says they hone that out. I don't have a honer to get that loose, a little bit less tight where they can just slide right on in. I haven't had one do this before. Most of the ones, they just slide right in with some insinuation, and that's what we're fixing to do. My plan is to take the plate, stick it on here, and get up here close enough that I can get some bolts on it, and see if I can't push it in by bolting the plate to the back of the hopper, and see if we can't do that. We got to get the kidney seal in. I know everybody used to give me a hard time because I put them in backwards, and I'm not afraid to put it in there backwards. That makes any sense. Look familiar to some of y'all? We're back. I must confess, I was gonna just do away with this whole video and call it good, just go about our life, but I was inspired by a conversation that I had on the way back over here with the pump with Scott Sutherland. He and I was visiting, and I just kind of thought, you know what, Scott kind of inspired me to go ahead and go through with finishing this video. So Scott, thank you so much. And for y'all that don't know, it's Scott with the Canadian Concrete Pumper. Check him out. I'll put something down in the description. Y'all go over there and check his channel. Does some fantastic work, does some pretty cool jobs too. It's pretty amazing what they do. But anyway, what ended up happening, it was this valve being so new and that bushing in there, I ended up taking this back to Carl over at Longhorn Line Pumps and just said, man, I called calf rope. I've had enough. And really what I've learned in my past is when I try to force something, especially like this, sometimes because something's not right or I'm not doing something right, it ends up costing me a lot more money, a lot more time, and you know how that goes in the long run. So I give Carl a phone call and just said, hey man, can I bring this to y'all and see if y'all can figure out what's going on? And he said sure. So I took it to him, and his mechanic, they called me this morning about 10:30, said, hey, your pump's ready. So they got it shoved in there. They end up honing, which I don't have any way to do that, the brass sleeve in there, and then cleaning whatever this stuff is off of that shaft. Anyway, they got it all in there, and I'm very grateful to have them close by and as having them as our swing line pump dealer. So it's nice. It's because a lot of guys don't have that luxury of having your dealer within a stone's throw or 45 minutes. I have to do 45 minutes. I can't throw a stone that far. But anyway, but yeah, we're back on the game plan. I got the hopper really clean for us anyway. Some of y'all might go, that thing's so dirty. Well, yeah, there is a little bit on there, and it's gonna get dirtier, but for most part we got it back really well. And no, I'm not gonna paint it. I'm not that clean of a guy, but it is 90% better than what it was. So little mild acid wash and scrubbing and air hammer and all that, and we're probably at least good 10-15 pounds lighter. So all right, where we are now, I'm trying to kind of regroup it here. Where I'm at now is putting this piece back on, and that's the discharge. It'll go right here. I'm gonna clean that up a little bit, put a little bit of grease around a lot of those bolts and stuff, and we'll get that back on, put it into place, and then we'll put our hootenanny up, that thing back right there, thread it on and get it set. So yeah, yep. So anyway, if y'all ever in the need of want to buy a trailer pump or want trailer pump parts, give Carl a call at Longhorn Line Pumps. He'll set you up with what you need, I guarantee that. So oh, the fun part, setting that thing up there. That's all. I think we can do it. I got to get ready for Ian's challenge anyway, so this will be like getting a workout in right here. Well, that wasn't too bad. Now we got to get it up. Put some silicone. We got a silicone all that edge, all the way around it. If not, you'll have grout leaking everywhere. So we got to get it up, run some silicone beads in there, and call it good. All right, that thing is on. Line up the bolt holes a little bit better. And once this dries, you just trim it off, peel it off, whatever. Just want to make sure you have that inside, because right here's where it leaks. They usually, this thing comes with it's kind of a spongy type gasket, and it lasts about as long as the first round of the wear parts. You're going to tear it up trying to get this thing out of there, and that's exactly what happened. So I'm not worried about this side. I'm gonna, looks like we're just a hair off. Somewhere right in there. Bolted down, all that's pretty good. Putting the safety switch on. This is that way when you raise the lid, it pushes that actuator down, and that cuts the pump off. Keeps you from getting injured, really. Getting your hands down in there and feet, whatever. And yes, it has happened. I promise you, I've seen pictures. So we're gonna make sure we got it adjusted correctly. Yep. Make sure our agitator, see. Yeah. Okay, we're working. That's the main thing. Get that on a little bit tighter. We don't want it slipping down. Got that taken care of. Next we put the cover on it.